Hey, a welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? However, en route to becoming YouTube famous, I'm actually part of a group. Nikki Raven actually added me to a group that she's in called the Beauty YouTuber Growth Group. And it's a small bunch of ladies with small channels who support each other. So, in the description box below, you will find links to all of their channels. Once you've watched this video, it would be absolutely awesome if you'd pop across and watch some of theirs. Let them know that Mad Bomber from 4F Beauty sent you. And if you are here from one of their channels, hey, welcome. Hope you'll enjoy it here. Right, now, long-term viewers know that husband had a cold last week. Husband gave cold to me. Voice is still recovering. Oh. Okay. Oh. Yeah, well, that's about as good as it's going to get, I'm afraid, folks. I might cut some of that out. And then again, I might just leave it in for you. As I was saying, long-term viewers know that I self-embargoed any more purchases from Tarte after the whole Tarte Shape Tape Foundation shade range debacle. However, I had already got some foundations from Tarte, and I had a request from a couple of different people to know. They asked, did I have this foundation, and if I had, would I please do a foundation review on it, because they've got similar skin to mine, oily combo, and they want to know how well it would last. So, the foundation in question is this Tarte Amazonian Clay Stick foundation. Now, when I bought this, it's in fair beige, and this was the lightest shade they did at the time. Whether they've expanded their shade range for this, I actually got mine from QVC, so yeah. So, if you want to find out exactly how that foundation fares on my skin, then my friend, you are in exactly the right place. Here it comes. Hey, welcome back from the intro. Still fighting with these damn tops. I bought about 6 of them. I'm going to wear them. I've already shown you this. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Stick in a shade fair beige. Let's address the elephant in the room. No, not me. Behave. Yes, I said that I'm boycotting Tarte. That's in terms of buying more stuff from them. However, as well as this, I've got, I think, 2 or 3 other foundations of theirs. And it would be remiss of me not to show you how those work on my skin. And also, I bought the damn things, I'm going to use them. So, this is in a nice chocolate brown satin tube, gold writing, like a wood effect thing on the top. Now, I've used this probably 3 times now. So this actually does give you a good idea of how much you do get in the stick. Okay. Because as we've established, stick foundations, by their nature, have to be quite emollient. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to be easily spread around the face. And as such, I have found it difficult, if not impossible in the past, to actually keep this on my face. So, I've done my eyes already because I was using a loose pigment, and because I've done quite a dramatic dark look again. So, what I've got on my face so far I have a moisturised with this, which has also got SPF in it. I then have tried, because I've got a little mini primers to try out. I've tried this Smashbox Photo Finish primer in my T-zone, which are the areas that I struggle most to keep foundation on at the best of times, and then I've gone over my whole face with my usual antiperspirant that I get from Amazon. It's especially designed for the face, works really well. She said, sweating around her hairline. I'm in an awful lot of pain today, basically. So, yeah. You'll have to forgive me if I creak and groan a little bit throughout this. So, let's get you zoomed in, stick some of this on my face. Now, when I bought this, I actually got it from QVC, and it came with a matching brush, which, as you can see, is quite a dense kabuki. You don't have to use their brush to apply it with. Any old sort of like kabuki brush will do. This is actually an Avon brush, which they have just started redoing it again. They did discontinue it, but it's back. And it's exactly the same shape as the Real Techniques Expert Face Base brush, but it's about half the price, and it's super soft. It's a lot softer than the Real Techniques one, so if you struggle with really sensitive skin, this is still dense enough to push the foundation around, but it's soft enough that hopefully it shouldn't irritate your skin. Bit of a tip there for you. So let's apply some of the war paint, shall we? When you put this on, it does feel like rubbing a stick of butter across your face, to be honest. So this is why I've not used it a lot, because Zorro. I struggle to keep it on my face, as you will see throughout the day. But I did get asked by someone, one of my followers, did I have this foundation, and if I have, could I please cover it? So your wish is my command to a certain extent. If you've got any requests for specific foundations that you'd like to see me cover, just drop a note in the comments box below, and if I've got that particular foundation, then I will most definitely cover it for you. Bring it up the list of the order that I'm doing them in. There isn't really a particular order, I just sort of like reach. I've got 3 boxes full of foundations, 1 high end and 2 more drugstore priced foundations, because looking for my holy grail, basically. Stick foundations are best applied with a brush. Sponges just shear them out too much. So you can see that's 1 layer, and it gives kind of, I don't know, what, light medium coverage, because you can still see my moles and you can still see a certain amount of darkness under my eyes and some of my hyperpigmentation here. Sorry if my constant clearing of my throat is fidgeting you. My darling husband shared his cold. This is the tail end of the cold. Couldn't film all of last week. That's why you only got 3 videos last week, because that's pretty much all I'd got pre-filmed. I had 6 videos pre-filmed, and I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to film yet this week. So, yeah. I'm just going to add just a wee bit more to the areas that need a bit more coverage. I'm trying to avoid putting any more on the nose than I have to, because long-term viewers will know, with my oily combo skin, my nose is always the first place to cast eviction notices on any foundation that has the gall to appear upon it. So, yeah. At the moment, this does look quite a bit lighter than my neck and my shoulders, but it does dry down fractionally darker. When I bought this, it was the lightest shade that they do. I don't know if they've added any more shades to it because, as I said, I have actually boycotted them. If you're wondering why, I have been asked to do a whole video on why I've boycotted certain companies, and I'm going to do that in a separate video. But if you're wondering particularly why I stopped buying from Tarte, it was after the whole Tarte Shape Tape foundation debacle. Because I'm always, prior to Fenty, I was always the lightest shade in foundation. I never had to consider it, didn't have to think, just, whip on, get the lightest shade, and just pray that it was neutral to cool and not too. A lot of ivory is very yellow based, which just looked awful on me. So it's probably ignorance of mine, but I never thought to scroll across to see how inclusive the shade range was, because they tend not to have they tend to have a lot of stock of sort of the middle to medium shades, but not a huge amount of the very light and, I assume, the very dark. So it was always a case of, right, that's the lightest shade, it's in stock, Christ, I better buy it quick before it sells out, because the lightest shade did used to go just like that. So yeah, I'll be completely honest, I didn't scroll across to see how deep shade ranges go, and that's just sheer ignorance on my part. I've got a lot of black friends and Asian friends and stuff, so it's not like I'm completely blind to the fact that clearly they need a different shade of foundation to me. I never thought to scroll across. I just assumed that they would be able to get their shade. After the whole Tarte Shape Tape thing that came out, and there was such a furore about it, it made me look at the range as a whole. I'm just going to set all of this. I've just gone in with Revolution Conceal and Define in shade C1 under my eyes. And now I'm going to set my face with a bit of Coty Airspun in Translucent Extra Coverage. Love this. I have to get it from Amazon because you can't get it easily in the UK, but I love it. It's so finely milled, and it really does well at controlling my oils. It's the best powder that I've found in terms of helping with controlling my oils throughout the day that I've found. But yeah, so the whole, the Tarte Shape Tape foundation came out, which everyone was like, oh my god, that's going to be absolutely amazing. And then you saw the shade range, and there were like 12 shades of beige, a tan, a caramel, and a milk chocolate, and that was it. And I was shocked because, although I've got a lot of friends of different shades, none of them were those 3 shades, so they would not have been able to buy that foundation. They would have had to. I mean, there's a good 3 of my mates that were so deep they couldn't even buy 2 and mix them to get the right shade because it didn't even start to go deep enough for them. And that was the point that I then started to look at Tarte's shade range for the other foundations, the ones that I'd already bought, and I was really shocked. And that was the point that I was gutted that these, some of these foundations of theirs, the Amazonian clay one and the Rainforest of the Sea one, I actually quite like. And I was gutted that so many of my mates wouldn't be able to try this particular foundation. And I thought, well, let's see what Tarte have got to say about it. And then they came out and had this ridiculous excuse that, oh, we're still formulating the darker shades. Well, if you're still formulating them, don't release the lighter ones, because why should people with deeper skin tones have to wait? Why should they be second-class citizens and not be able to try the foundation at the same time as Caucasian people? Let's be quite honest. It's like 40 shades of bloody beige. I don't know about 40 shades of grey. And that was why I then self-boycotted Tarte. I think that was my door. Hang on a minute. It was the door. Sadly, not with anything from me. Just take a parcel in for next door, but they're really good about taking parcels in for me when I'm out, so... Yeah, so that's why I decided I wasn't going to buy anything else from Tarte until they sorted out the shade range. Not just on Shape Tape, but on all of their foundations. Unfortunately, I had bought quite a bit of stuff from them. So you will still see me using Tarte on this channel, because as you can see, I got a drawer full of Tarte blushes that I bought. And clearly I'm not going to waste my money by throwing them away, because Tarte blushes ain't cheap. Tarte anything ain't cheap. So yeah, you will see me using the blushes and sometimes the eyeshadow palettes. Normally you won't see me use the foundation unless I'm doing a specific foundation review for you. So, there we go, foundation's on. It's the middle of bloody October and it's 21 degrees. It's meant to be cold and windy and overcast and raining. I shouldn't still need to be doing this time of year. Right. Oh dear. Right, it's currently 10 o'clock. So that's the check-in time for this foundation. I will of course do 2 check-ins through the day so that you can see how it wears on my oily combo skin. You are going to see the first check-in right now. I got a bit of a wait before I do it. For a start off, I've got to finish this face off. Actually, no, you won't see the check-in. I'm going to come back with my full face on and have a quick wee chat with you there before the next check-in. Yeah. Right, I'm losing my mind. I'm forgetting even how I do this. This is what happens when you have a week off. Right, back in a mo. Hey! Welcome back. As you can see, I have now finished the face. I've clipped the fringe off of my face because it's driving me crackers at the moment. So that in-between stage keeps flopping. So, everything blended on top of this foundation, absolutely fine. It does need setting though. If you're going to be putting powder products on top, you do need to set it. So if you've got dry skin, and you don't normally set your foundations, I would advise just to set the areas that you're going to be popping any powder products onto. Otherwise it does tend to grab and splotch. If you're using cream contour, cream blush, awesome, you don't need to set it. Say if you're using like a cream or a liquid highlight, for example. But I've gone for powder products today, and yeah, because I think most people do use powder products, and you can see it's it's all blended on top of this foundation, absolutely fine. I will be back at the sort of 5 or 6 hour mark, and then again at around the 10 or 11 hour mark for check ins so we can see exactly how this foundation is wearing. This has been on for about half hour now, I suppose, and yeah, it still looks absolutely fine. As you can see, it is a slightly dewy, you can see anywhere that I haven't plastered with highlight, you can see it is a slightly dewy foundation, which oily combo skin and dewy foundation is not a great mix. However, I was asked to show how well this foundation lasts on my skin, so that is what I am doing. Now, I am going to toddle off. I'm going to do myself a lovely iced coffee and lubricate these vocal cords in the hope that I don't bark at you when I come back. And check the slow cooker because I've got tea on for the hubster later. And just generally do a bit of editing and a bit of housework. Yeah, no, the usual. So you, however, do not have to sit through all of that. You're going to see the first check-in right now. And this time you really are going to see the first check-in right now. Hey, welcome back to the first check-in. This has been on my face for about 4.5, 5 hours now. Actually, probably closer to 5 hours because I've been touching my lippy up because, you know, gloss doesn't really last. It comes off on cups and stuff. So, 5 hours. Let's have a zoom in, see how it's looking. It's just starting to split in these lines here. You can see it's just starting to settle in the base of them. The Hulk's not looking too bad at the moment. Still looking quite hydrated. I've lost a bit of foundation here because this eye has been watering, so you can't count that bit. This eye's been fine, however, and you can see this gives a better indication. Really still quite hydrated there, I'm quite impressed. Not actually splitting much around the nose. That Smashbox primer is doing really well because normally by this point in time I've got a lot of caking around here. It doesn't seem to be doing it. It's not really settling into my marionette lines either. Still got, starting to lose a little bit of foundation just on the tip of the nose there. Top lip still looks fine. Chin still looks okay. Cheeks, everything's still where it should be. So actually I'm quite impressed using that, which one was it, the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer underneath it. It's actually looking better than it normally does at this point in time. So I'm actually really quite surprised by that. Are you going to prove me wrong and actually be a stick foundation that will last on my skin? What do you reckon? Be a bloody bitch if it is, seeing as though I'm actually embargoed myself from buying anything from them. Right. I will see you again in about another 5 or 6 hours. For me, for you in YouTube land, instant. Hey, welcome back to the final check-in. Got my iron brew, sadly with no vodka in it this time, but right. This has now been on my face for 10.5 hours, so let's get zoomed in, see how it's looking. Well, that settling in there doesn't appear to have got any worse. Hulk's not looking too bad. I've lost an even bigger patch of foundation here where my eye's been watering. But you can see this side, it's still actually quite hydrated. But kind of from here down is where it all starts to fall apart. You can see now that it's, at least I hope you can, it's, my oils have broken through and just really, really broken the foundation down now. Top lip, chin, it's all looking very like a desert floor that's drought ridden. It really has, although it's not, I've not lost amazing amounts of coverage. There's still foundation on my nose, but it's very blotchy and it's very patchy. Obviously that bit on the end of my nose is gone, but I've had hay fever, I've been doing this all day, it's not surprising. The marionette lines now, it's really starting to emphasise those. They're looking a lot deeper here than they were earlier on in the day. Top lip, pretty much gone. Oh great, looks like I've got a spot coming there. Fantastic! I thought it was lipstick earlier, but apparently I was wrong. Yeah, chin again, very broken down. The driest part of my face is actually here on my cheeks, and you can see here it still looks fantastic. You know, bronze, blush, highlight, still where it should be. So, what are my final thoughts on this Tarte clay stick? If you've got normal to dry skin, go for it. If you're happy to buy Tarte and they've got your shade, it's very, very quick to put on. You saw that, just swipe, smush it around with a brush, set it, and pretty much out the door. So it's great if you've hit the snooze button one time too many in the morning. If you've got oily combo or oily skin, I definitely recommend teaming it with this Smashbox Photo Finish primer, because at the 5-hour mark I was really surprised at the fact that it hadn't started breaking down on my nose yet. Normally 5 hours is when the oils start to come through and start to degrade the foundation. So the fact that at 4 hours this still looked okay, were it not a foundation test, I could have blotted to get any excess oils up and repowdered, and I probably would have got a full working day out of it. So that Smashbox primer really does make a difference when you're using this, because normally at the 5-hour mark, you could see I'd barely used this. I'd used it about twice, because each time at the 5-hour mark it had broken down and just looked awful. With Smashbox primer underneath it, 5 hours, it was still looking okay. You know, I'd have quite happily gone out for a couple of drinks after work with the girls, you know, all the boys. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on that one. So it very much depends on your skin type and whether Tarte's got a shade that will match you, and indeed if you're happy to buy from Tarte. But at the moment, of all the different stick foundations that I've tried, admittedly I've only tried 3, this one works by far the best. Alright then, I hope you found this helpful, fun, informative. I really want to take this off. I have got my vitamin E cleansing oil, I have got my eye makeup remover ready, and my skin is crying out for me to remove this from my face, which is what I'm going to do. So while I'm doing that, it would be absolutely awesome if you could hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to ring my bell, and choose all notifications, and then you get told every time I upload another one of these videos. And let's face it, this is fun. Watching me blether away is fun. Apparently my voice is soothing and is awesome if you need soothing to sleep. So yay, there's that going for it as well. I've got a lot of other videos on here. It'd be awesome now you've watched this one if you'd just have a look through my playlists and see if there's any others that interest you or that you've not seen yet. And when you finish watching my videos, don't forget the girls in the Beauty YouTuber growth group that I have listed in my description box, and go pick up one of their videos too. Right, all that remains for me to say is you'll stay fabulous, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.